Hello everyone and welcome to this new video. Today I'm taking you with me on a breathtaking adventure, a virtual helicopter flight over the Mistral Massif, one of the most beautiful and wildest areas in the Swiss Alps. We will use a Bell from the Air Zermatt company and fly over 9 mountains, each with its own unique characteristics and fascinating stories. Then we will descend into the Saas Valley, where we will see the Mattmark Dam, the largest stone dam in Switzerland. It's 8:30 a.m. and the weather is perfect for our flight. There's little wind and visibility is excellent. I'm at the heliport in Zermatt, a tourist resort famous for its breathtaking view of the Matterhorn, the most iconic mountain in the Alps. I've planned my flight on the map and checked the weather conditions. The engine is running, the controls are set, it's time to take off. The helicopter rises into the air with a roar and heads northeast. The view is spectacular. Below me I see the village of Zermatt, with its wooden houses and pedestrian streets. Then my gaze shifts to the mountains, which stand imposing and majestic. Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 is an incredible simulator, reproducing the entire world in realistic and dynamic detail, using imagery and data from Bing Maps. Thanks also to the addition of add-ons, every mountain, every lake, every city is faithfully represented. To reach the first stage of this adventure, the Unterthorn, I have to enter this side valley on my left. Again on my left I see the cable car poles. I follow them because they will take me to the summit. As I follow the path of the cable car to the summit of the Unterthorn, I look carefully at the landscape that opens up before me. Below me, I see the lush green valleys, now slightly whitewashed by snow, dotted with small villages and wooden houses. Higher up, the snow-capped mountains stand imposing and majestic against the blue sky, white from scattered clouds. The closer I get to the summit, the more apparent to me are the details of the nearby rocks and glacier in the background, the shapes of the peaks and the shadows stretching across the slopes. As the helicopter climbs higher and higher, the panorama becomes more and more spectacular. My pulse quickens as I admire the beauty of nature around me. On the summit of the Untrethorn is the terminal station of the cable car. In summer, this is the starting point for demanding hikes and a popular destination for sunrise hikes. In winter, the summit station offers direct access to the ski slopes. In addition, there is also a sculpture exhibition called Peak Collection that explores the alpine world of Zermatt and its most famous peaks. I head towards the Rimpfischhorn. As I rise even higher, flying over the mountains, I admire the breathtaking view of the alpine landscape, leaving the Findel Glacier on my right, while below me the valleys are getting deeper and deeper. The Rimpfischhorn looms imposingly before me, with its sharp summit and steep walls. I fly over the summit of the Rimpfischhorn and admire the spectacular view that, perhaps even more than before, opens up before me from here. One feels smaller and smaller in front of the majesty of nature. The Allerlinhorn looms imposingly in front of me, with its sharp summit and steep walls. Again, the adrenaline rises as I get closer and closer to the mountain. I fly over the summit of the Allalin and admire the spectacular view that opens up before me. From here you can also see the Matmark Dam, an artificial dam in the Sas Valley, at an altitude of around 2,200 meters. The fourth mountain we fly over is Alfjubel, 4,206 meters high. Its name means Alpine Hill because its particular morphology is more reminiscent of a hill than a mountain peak. The Tashhorn looms imposingly before me, with its sharp summit and steep walls. At 4,491 meters high, the Tashhorn is the second highest of the Misdjebel group. The name is derived from the small town of Tash at the foot of the mountain. Its north face is one of the steepest and most imposing in the Alps. now the Dom, 4,545 meters high. It is the highest of the Mischabel group, the highest massif entirely in Switzerland and the seventh highest peak in the Alps. Its name means cathedral and also refers to its majestic and solemn form, but above all it is in memory of the Domherr, which means cannon in German, Joseph Anton Berchtold, who first measured the heights of the mountains of the Mischabel Massif. It was first climbed in 1858 by a rope team led by Johann Zumthorwald, a famous guide from Zermatt. Now it is a matter of losing altitude, without taking on too much speed, in order to move towards the Nadelhorn. It is the third highest peak of the Massif after the Dom and the Taschhorn. The first ascent to the summit was made on the 16th of September 1858 by Franz Andermatten, Baptiste Epiny, Alois Supersaxo, and J. Zimmermann. Immediately following is the 4,241-meter high Stecknadelhorn. It is one of the slimmest and sharpest peaks in the Mischabel group. Its name means pin horn and refers to its elegant, pointed shape. The first ascent to the summit was made on the 8th of August 1887 by Oskar Eckenstein and Matthias Zerbruggen. The Dörenhorn is the lowest of the Mischabel group, but that is not why it is one of the least climbed of the Mischabel Massif. It is one of the mountains most affected by climatic changes. In recent years, due to the melting of the granular snow, the danger of rockfalls is increasing. Those who reach the summit, 4,035 m above sea level, can enjoy a fantastic panorama of the Valar Alps with their numerous 4,000-meter peaks. It is now time to descend towards the Saas Valley. When I reach the valley, I head southeast, into the groove formed by the Saas Valley. This is one of the most beautiful and wildest valleys in Switzerland, surrounded by 13 mountains exceeding 4,000 meters, some of which we have just flown over. I'm now flying over the resorts of Sassgrund, Sassvi, and Sassalmagel, where I see the ski slopes, hiking trails and typical wooden houses. I approach the end of the valley, where the Mattmark Dam stands, a majestic earthwork dominating the landscape. It is the largest stone dam in Switzerland. It has a height of 120 meters and a length of 780 meters. The artificial lake it creates has a volume of 101 million cubic meters, and an area of 176 hectares. The dam was built starting in 1960 and was inaugurated in 1967, but its construction was saddened by a tragedy in 1965. When an ice avalanche broke off from the Allalin Glacier and buried 88 workers, 56 of them Italians, who were working on the construction site. The dam appears as a gigantic grey wall holding back the blue waters of the lake. The contrast between the concrete and the ice is striking. I fly over the dam at low altitude. I want to show you this imposing structure and the lake that surrounds it up close. Here at the top of the dam one feels full of admiration and awe. I feel the emotion of being in a unique and special place. I feel the beauty of nature and human ingenuity coming together in perfect harmony. I fly over the dam and enjoy the spectacle. I see the water of the lake, now placid and emerald-colored, soon to sparkle under the sun's rays. I see the mountains reflected in the mirror-smooth surface. I see the clouds, also standing still in the blue sky, intent on admiring the spectacle of which they themselves are an integral part. I take the course of the Sassa Vispa again, but this time in a northwesterly direction. It is time to return to Rarren. The river has its source in the Allerling Glacier, one of Switzerland's great glacier, which stretches for 12 kilometers and covers an area of 23 square kilometers. The glacier is also famous for hosting one of the highest ski resorts in Europe, with slopes open all year round. Sass-Almagell, a picturesque alpine village located at an altitude of 1673 meters. Pirmin Zurbriggen, one of the greatest skiers in history, winner of 4 Olympic gold medals and 5 World Cups, was born here. The village offers numerous attractions for visitors, such as the Sass Valley Museum, the Adventure Park and the Marmot Trail. Saas-Fee, the most famous tourist resort in the Sass Valley. Located at an altitude of 1,800 meters. Saas-Fee is nicknamed the Pearl of the Alps for its charm and beauty. A number of films have been shot here, including James Bond, The Hurricane Comes from the North and Sister Act 2, Crazier Than Ever. Sassgrund, another alpine village located at an altitude of 1560 meters. Here you will find the parish church of St. Mauritius, a Romanesque building dating back to the 12th century with medieval and Baroque frescoes. The village is also a starting point for hikes to the Trift Glacier and the Fellbach waterfall. Sassbalen is a small mountain village located at an altitude of 1483 meters. The village is known for its natural beauty. From here, as from Sassgrund, there is access to the Fellbach waterfall. Sassbalen offers many opportunities for hiking and walking, for example to the villages of Matt and Heimischgartu. Cheese lovers can visit the Hoferalp, one of the highest Alps in Europe, where artisanal cheese is made. I leave the Sas Valley and head towards Stalden, where the Sassa Vispa joins the Mata Vispa to form the Vispa proper. Stalden is an old village located at an altitude of 800 meters, where the Sas and Matatau valleys meet. The village has retained its traditional appearance, with wooden houses decorated with flowers and carved balconies. Here you can visit the Museum of Rural Civilization and admire the suspension bridge over the Vispa. The Vispa River flows into the Rhône at Visp. It is a modern and dynamic city with an important industrial and commercial hub. The Lonza Group, a multinational chemical pharmaceutical company, is based here. In addition, the historical center of Visp is perfectly preserved and has an eventful history. As always, we try to land as softly as possible. Landed at the floodplaats in Raren, I leave my greetings and invite you to like and subscribe to the channel to be informed about the release of the next scenic flight that will end in the capital of the Valar, the city of Sion. I assure you that it will once again be an extraordinary experience among the most beautiful and imposing peaks of the Swiss Alps and its enchanted valleys.